I'd like to express my gratitude to the voting members of the Texas Sports Hall of Fame for this prestigious honor. I'm overwhelmed with this whole experience and so excited to be here tonight. Congratulations to each inductee and for all your accomplishments. I'm very proud to be inducted with this group of champions. I was thinking back, because my days go back a long time ago to the 70s. That's when I attended Baylor. And things have changed quite a bit since I played in those days. But a few things that I remembered. I remembered wearing the original Chuck Taylor Converse high-top shoes. You could buy a pair for about $10, and when they were on sale, they were $3.99. We had to drive to our away games, which we traveled pretty far because the schools that played were spread out across Texas. But we had to drive to our away games in our own cars. Now, I drove a Gremlin. So we would pack up what we could, put as many as we could in there, and travel. Our post-game meal, when I first started at Baylor, often because we would end up playing so late on the weekend, a lot of times it consists of a meal at U-Totem convenience stores. I know, y'all think I'm kidding, but we did graduate to McDonald's when they started coming out, and then that would get us home. Our uniforms were designed for women at about an average height of 5'7", and I am 6'1". So I had to ask Ike, when he asked for pictures, I asked him to please, because my grandchildren have not seen my midsection, so I asked him to please lengthen my jerseys to cover the 4 inches of skin that showed. And you did a great job, Ike. Thank you. Locker rooms when I first started at Baylor, they were actually a PE dressing room, and they had with racks of baskets that held our gear. Our playing schedule, it consists of playing 1 game a week, and then we traveled on the weekend. We'd leave on Friday, and we'd drive, and we'd play Friday and Saturday in a tournament, usually playing 5 games in 2 days. And thank goodness we were good enough to be able to play 5 games, so we didn't get beat out of those tournaments, so we did get those 5 games in. I think about today, and I watch the Bears come out, and they come out with the fog and the band's there and the kids are cheering, and it's such a great thing to watch. And I think people thought our fight song was the Na-Na song. And I think they thought that because when we ran out, we were going to get into the spirit of this thing. We still wanted to be basketball players and enjoy all the things that we enjoyed in high school. So we'd come out and we'd go, na-na-na, na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na-na. And so I think that everyone thought that. We finally graduated about my junior year. I think the uncles of one of our teammates felt sorry for us, so he had his own audio tape, and bought us a boom box. And we put we played that when we ran in. It was a little bit of a grainy version, but it was still a lot of fun. And those things didn't really matter a lot, but it was a lot of fun. And I just wanted to tell you that's kind of about the time that I played. But ultimately, we went out there as a team, and it was jump ball, game on, and a lot of fun and excitement during those days. But anyway, I move on. I want to thank and praise God for my physical makeup of athletic ability. I always felt a responsibility to hone that talent towards success and perfection. I discovered, though, along the way that wasn't enough. I was just a vessel. It took a million little pieces to bring me to this place today. Family has always been at the core of my existence. I'd like to thank my family that is here. They're sitting up here at a couple of tables. To my children and my grandchildren. I'm very blessed to be your grandmother and your mother. And I'm so glad that you are all here tonight to share this big occasion for me. To my parents, my mom was a spunky, empowered woman. She stood a whole 5 foot tall. She was and she still is my hero. She loved her family, and she allowed each of our 4 children to find our own direction in life. She supported me. She made sacrifices. She was very wise and smart. My dad, he built my first basketball goal. He nailed a white painted board with a goal attached to a tree in the vacant lot next to our house. This was where my first baskets were shot. And I learned to be an accurate shooter because if you missed, the ball rebounded down the hill next to that lot. And so I'd have to walk through the wooded area, trying to avoid snakes and other wooded creatures to get the ball. So you know what? Make it. Just make it. I thank my dad for that basketball goal, and it brought me to tears when it finally rotted and fell down. But I also thank my dad for all the things that he provided me, including the soothing conversation we had before I left. He could not make it tonight, but he did call to tell me, to do a good job and to relax and enjoy it. My brother Donnie, he was 3 years older than me, and he was very athletic. Donnie had a large influence on me becoming a competitor. I hate that he's not here. We lost Donnie he was at a younger age, and he would love this. He would just have loved this. And I hate that he's not here, but I owe a lot to him. Mr. Billy Joe Oliver, and I see that you're here, Mr. Oliver. Thank you. He was our elementary principal at Robinson, but he was also my 7th and 8th grade basketball coach. Mr. Oliver is a superior teacher of the game of basketball, and he is the very best fundamental skill coach I have ever met. Mr. Bill Bradley, he was superintendent of the Robinson Independent School District, and he was my basketball and track coach in high school. I will never be able to express how he influenced my athletic career and life itself. He provided us with the opportunities to become the best that we could, and that included 3 trips to the state tournament and a state championship. Mr. Bradley believed in me, and that belief was so strong that I didn't have to work to believe in myself. I just had to embrace it. He taught me how to be an athlete and a teammate, and in addition to his exceptional coaching, he taught me to be a ferocious competitor, to play to win, to be gracious in victory and defeat, and to always carry myself as a lady. Thank you, Mr. Oliver and Mr. Bradley, for everything that you did for me. I want to thank my teammates at Robinson and Baylor for inspiring me every day with your practice ethic and your shared competitive spirit. Your efforts made me want to be better. I wouldn't be standing here today without you. Thank you guys so much, and I love you. To Baylor University, thank you for offering me the first women's scholarship. I took that honor and that responsibility to heart, and I worked hard all 4 years toward continued growth of that program. I also want to thank the staff and school personnel that were so supportive of women in sports. And last, I'm so thankful for Title IX. That helped to open doors for women's athletic programs and to accelerate the opportunities for girls everywhere. In closing, I'd like to quote Neil Anderson. Each of us is a piece of a puzzle, and each of us helps to set in place other important pieces. My speech was about a few of the million little pieces that built the foundation of my athletic journey. I want to thank you all for your time. I am so blessed. And again, I'm so honored to accept this award into the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you.